In an effort to cut back on prison overcrowding, Governor Schaefer wants to allow prisoners to work off their time doing community service instead of going to jail. Annapolis Bureau Chief Lou Davis explains this program.
In Baltimore City, there are already more than 2,400 offenders out on the streets, cleaning up, bringing food to the needy, doing a variety of community jobs that otherwise wouldn't get done. Levi Ellerby started his community service today. He was sentenced to 1-year probation with 50 hours of community service. He says he hopes he can find a job now, and this keeps him out of jail.
I had got in trouble for stealing at a supermarket.
What do you think of this community service?
I guess it's well, actually, I didn't feel like doing it, but it's better than going to jail.
Robert Ginney is a volunteer at the Neighborhood Assistance Program in West Baltimore. He says he's been dealing with these probationers for about 10 years now.
Sure, I think it's a good idea because simple reason why it saves the taxpayers a lot of money, the city a lot of money, you know, because like if it was me, I would prefer doing it because it would keep me with my family.
We're given an option to the courts and a sentencing option. All clients aren't sentenced to jail with the overcrowding problem that we have. They're doing good in the community while they're working off a sentence. I think it's excellent.
Governor Schaefer wants to expand this program, but there is a problem. Because there is no cap on the liability to protect the agencies that use these men, many will not take them. At a hearing in Annapolis today, state officials urged a change so more prisoners could be put on community service.
It should be able to help us identify and recruit new work sites and also to keep those work sites that are currently in the program healthy and with us.
The Corrections Department says this program works well and they want to expand it. It keeps these people out of jail and at home with their families. And at the same time, it provides a much-needed service for a financially strapped city. Lou Davis, News Channel 2, West Baltimore.
A father's tears and a mother's cry can still be felt throughout the city. The murder of their 3-year-old son, cut down by a stray bullet, has come to symbolize the horror of this violent summer. Baltimore's NAACP decided to hold tonight's crime summit as one response to the murder of Andre Dorsey, a response in search of a solution. Tonight, the NAACP will unveil 3 proposals to stop the killing. First, a call for more police in high-crime areas, that is, in the city's neighborhoods. Fewer police in the downtown and stadium area where the crime rate is much lower. Second, a request for police to focus their arrests on violent criminals rather than street-level drug dealers. Finally, and probably most controversial, a call to bring the Maryland State Police and the National Guard into the city.
I can't go out my house. I can't let my children out the house. We need solutions now to give those people, I'm included, peace and comfort in their own neighborhoods. And if that means putting National Guard troops on the corner, so be it.
A desperate proposal for a desperate time. Randy Page, News Channel 2, Baltimore.
Pediatric neurosurgeons is Dr. Benjamin Carson. He led a team of Johns Hopkins doctors in the successful separation of Siamese twins some 4 years ago. Tonight, as Andy Barth reports, Dr. Carson's early childhood gave absolutely no hint of the heights to which he would rise.
Rats and roaches and gangs and rapes and murders and boarded up windows and winos. It was interesting.
Dr. Ben Carson seems far removed from the slums of Boston and Detroit as he sits in his office at Johns Hopkins Hospital. He's just back from a book tour promoting his gifted hands, and he radiates competence. But he remembers being the worst student in his 5th grade class.
I was so bad that people felt, you know, there was not much hope for me, at least everybody except my mother. And she was always very encouraging and saying, Benjamin, you're much too bright to be getting grades like this.
Then Dr. Carson says his mother came up with an order for a simple solution.
Turn off the TV set. Allow us to watch only 2 or 3 TV programs during the week, and instead required us to read books. 2 books per week from the Detroit Public Library, and to submit to her book report. which we had to do because she was very persistent about it, and we didn't know she couldn't read them.
His mother got him back on track, and he won a scholarship to Yale and to the University of Michigan Medical School. He says young people today shouldn't idolize sports stars and entertainers because it's not realistic to expect success in those fields.
How more realistic is it to think of a young man making it as a brain surgeon?
Much more realistic, considerably more realistic. There are a lot more neurosurgeons in the United States than there are NBA starters.
Where's your mother now?
I'm glad you asked that question. My mother lives with us now. She did teach herself how to read, got her GED, went on to junior college and became an interior decorator. And
Andy Barth, Channel 2 News.
Antique furniture.
It's an incredible story. Dr. Carson.
This is a matter beyond buildings, a matter higher than high-rises, a matter of people, a government, and money that may or may not be there. Concerns that brings a congressman and state delegate to the rotunda at City Hall to talk to the mayor about the ongoing appearance of a management problem at the housing agency.
We've asked also that he give strong consideration to the appointment of a blue ribbon commission that would swiftly be formed and look into the ongoing allegations of mismanagement at the housing agency.
A matter that has Congressman Kwesi Mfume calling for a federal investigation into housing and urban development to see why Baltimore's $52 million problem is an $11 billion problem facing the entire nation.
To find out why $11 billion appropriated by the Congress for use for the special progress throughout this nation was held up by this previous administration.
A matter that has the mayor walking along West Pratt Street hearing the same problems, searching for solutions. Calling for the resignation of Commissioner Robert Hearn is not one of them.
They expressed their concerns not only about the substance of what was going on at the housing agency, but the style and the leadership. But we talked about that, and they understood that the better thing for us to do right now is to solve the problems and not finger point.
A matter that has people embarrassed over living conditions, looking to leaders for help, which may now come since the problem has jumped off the balcony and landed face down onto the cement. It's going to be a very busy week in Washington, in Annapolis, and right here in Baltimore. On Wednesday, the mayor will meet with representatives from President Clinton's office in hopes of loosening the public housing purse strings. Here at City Hall, Jamie Costello, News Channel 2.
And Wednesday's meeting marks the third time in a week that Mayor Schmoke has met with HUD officials on city housing needs. Stan?
In business news tonight, there's a chance you might be one of more than 24,000 Marylanders about to get a mortgage escrow refund. Well, he's 73 years old, he's a great-grandfather, and he always carries a .357 Magnum. Today, Captain Ray said the gun saved his life and that he'll continue to use it as a method of self-defense. Yesterday, the owner of a Baltimore liquor store was faced with two alleged robbers, and one of them had a gun. Captain Ray pulled out his own .357 and opened fire.
I think what is happening is too many people is getting robbed and not doing anything about it. But I think if you start fighting back, I think they'll stop. They'll leave you alone. I am proud of what I did. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud that I went home to my wife last night. I'm proud to come back here to my customers this morning.
25-year-old Lewis Easter was killed in the shooting. The other alleged robber still has not been found. Ray has a permit to carry the gun, and police say as a result, that store owner will not be charged.
A mother's cry can still be heard more than a month after the murder of her 3-year-old son. The killing of Andre Dorsey continues to strike a chord in the heart of the city.
We got to ask the police commissioner and all.
Last night, that chord resonated in anger at a summit meeting on crime.
You indicated that I downplayed.
The voices are angry because so many innocent people, too often children, have been cut down in the street. And each time one of those random acts of violence happens, it seems to serve as a wake-up call for the people living in that community. In this quiet East Baltimore neighborhood, that wake-up call came just after midnight last night, when a bullet pierced the window into home belonging to Carol Jean Johnson.
See, the first thing I saw was my grandchildren, or my daughter, or myself, laying there with a bullet in our heads, you know.
If this devoted grandmother can become a target, neighbors say, then no one is immune. Estelle Robinson lives right next door.
I'm going to get some flyers printed up today And I'm going in this block from door to door, and I'm going down the next block and let the people know that we have had a shooting here. And we want to come out in numbers and let them know that we live here before they run us back in our homes as slaves and we can't come out.
A single bullet has shattered apathy in this quiet neighborhood, and people here are beginning to choose sides.
We're going to fight back, and we're going to fight back before they drive us in, because I don't intend to be a prisoner in my home.
A call to action propelled by anger in this violent summer of '92. Randy Page, News Channel 2, Northeast Baltimore.
Mayor Schmoke says he hopes the NAACP will host another meeting later this summer. Stan?
Well, the pleas to stop the violence in Baltimore seem to have been loud enough to reach the ears of Capitol Hill. Maryland Senator Barbara Mikulski's measure to expand the community policing program in Baltimore has been passed by the U.S. Senate. The bill will bring in addition.
Baltimore City Police are investigating a shooting last night that left one robbery suspect dead. It all happened at Crazy Joe's restaurant and arcade on Howard and Baltimore streets. Officer James Barlow walked into the restaurant to confront two men about a robbery that took place earlier in the evening. But when he approached the suspects, one allegedly started shooting. Barlow ducked for cover, and another officer, Edmund Lubinsky, ran in to offer help. Police say one of the suspects then began shooting at the second officer. When the officer returned fire, he hit one of the suspects in the torso. That suspect, 19-year-old Michael Fletcher, was pronounced dead last night at University Hospital. Officer Lubinsky has been placed on administrative leave.